Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nora, and today I'm going to take you with me as we fertilize the pomegranate tree with a favorite fertilizer of mine, which is blood and bone. I'm going to take you on a step-by-step process, and if you have a similar pomegranate tree, then this video is really important for you. So blood and bone fertilizer is an excellent organic option for feeding pomegranate trees because it provides essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and calcium. These three nutrients, they work to promote healthy growth, strong roots, and also help to provide bountiful fruit production. So here's how to fertilize your pomegranate tree effectively using blood and bone. Now, first of all, why blood and bone fertilizer? Out of all the fertilizers, why this one? It is natural, it is slow release option, and it's packed with nutrients that pomegranates thrive on. So it's packed with nitrogen. Nitrogen encourages lush foliage growth. It's packed with phosphorus, which supports root development and flowering, and it's packed with calcium, which strengthens the cell walls, improves fruit quality. So when is the best time to fertilize pomegranate trees? Well, there are three best times to focus on fertilizing pomegranate trees. First of all, in the spring, just as the new growth begins. This really helps to give the tree a nutrient boost for the growing season. Also in midsummer, because it supports fruit development, especially in warmer climates. And lastly, as an optional choice in late autumn, and this really helps to replenish soil nutrients before winter starts to hit. Now, avoid fertilizing during winter when the tree is dormant, because that can have very bad consequences. So how do you get started with fertilizing with blood and bone? There are a couple of steps that you need to take in order for this to work correctly. First of all, measure the fertilizer. So use about 100 to 200 grams of blood and bone fertilizer per year of the tree's age, up to a maximum of 1 or 2 kilograms for mature trees, and always follow the package instructions. Step 2 is to prepare the area. So start by cleaning any weeds or any debris around the base of the tree, and this really helps to make sure that the nutrients go directly to the pomegranate roots. Step 3 is to apply the fertilizer. So spread the blood and bone evenly around the drip line, the area beneath the outer edge of the canopy. Also, and as an alternative, which is what we've done, which is the more safer alternative, is to add in that blood and bone to the soil, mix it up really well, and then spread that that mixture of blood and bone and the compost evenly around the drip line, and avoid placing the fertilizer too close to the trunk, because this can cause root burn. Step 4 is to incorporate into the soil and lightly rake the fertilizer into the top 2 to 3 inches of the soil to really help to absorb it into the root zone. You don't need to do that if you've done that step of applying the fertilizer to the compost and then mixing it together and then adding it on top of the soil. And also the last step is really important, and it is to water thoroughly. So water the area well after applying the fertilizer, and this step really helps to make the nutrients penetrate into the soil and prevent clumping. Now, there are additional steps and tips and strategies to really help your fertilizers succeed. First of all, test the soil. So before fertilizing, go ahead and take that extra step of testing the soil to ensure that it is not overly rich in nitrogen, because what happens is, if it's too rich in nitrogen, this can lead to excessive foliage growth at the expense of fruiting, and we want to do the opposite. We want to encourage as much fruiting as possible, especially with a mini pomegranate tree such as this one. Also, tip number 2 is mulching after fertilization. This is an extra optional step, but it really does make a difference if you can take that step. Add a layer of organic mulch. You can go ahead and use straw or wood chips. This helps to retain the moisture and further enrich the soil. Now, keep mulch a few inches away from the trunk to prevent rot. And also, tip number 3 is supplement if needed. So while blood and bone fertilizer is really excellent for general feeding, pomegranate trees may also benefit from potassium-rich fertilizers like sulfate of potash during fruiting to really enhance fruit size and sweetness. So what are the signs to look out for if your pomegranate tree needs fertilizers? It will usually usually give you these 3 signs. First off, if you notice yellowing leaves, this indicates nitrogen deficiency. Sign number 2 is poor flowering or fruiting, and sign number 3 is stunted growth or sparse foliage. So by incorporating blood and bone into your fertilizing routine, what you do here is you allow your pomegranate